Hello, divine messy humans. I'm back with you again on my YouTube channel, Amanda Kate from Amanda Kate, Transformational Kinesiology and Coaching. I've been doing some more deep spiritual work. It sort of seems to be the go with me, really. And sometimes there's questions or there's activities that really just knock me for six. They are like cogs that all of a sudden fit into place. And sometimes, even though I've had the questions before, I've answered them before, and I've gotten awareness from them before, the next time I hear them, it's like a bang. And I'm into the next level of awareness and the next level of growth. So this video is only going to be the first one of this series on our survival mode. And it's a really fascinating topic, and I think it's probably the one that is my number one thing that I work with in clinic with my clients, and also in my own life with what I am doing with my own work. So what is survival mode? Survival mode is where we go into our adrenal response, our fight, flight, freeze, fragmentation, and fawning. So the three commonly known ones are fight, flight, and freeze. So in fight, obviously, we want to fight somebody. In flight, we want to run away. In freeze, we're actually trying to fight and run away at the same time. And so we become like the deer in the headlights and we can't function, we can't move, we literally freeze. We then have what we term in kinesiology as fragmentation, which is where we fall to pieces, or we've left pieces of ourselves at traumatic times in our life. And in that case, we need to go back and heal that root cause so that we can become more whole again. And then there's another F that's come into it with polyvagal theory, I believe, is where it was first mentioned, with fawning, which is people pleasing. And the reason that's become a stress response is when they were first doing the research of the fight and flight, they were often looking at how men get through stress responses. But often what will happen is women turn towards the people around them who are going to support them on, or who help them feel safe, or who help them feel like they're belonging. And what they will often do in certain times is to actually fawn and make a big deal of making sure that the other people are happy and healthy and looked after. And so they go into that people-pleasing mode. And as most of us know, that is a really comfortable place for a lot of women to occupy because we've been entrained that way. We have been taught that the best thing we can be as women is selfless. We should put everybody else before ourselves, and that we are last on the list of priorities. And yes, that messaging is changing, but the ingrained patterns are still there, where a lot of women do not put themselves first. They do not look after themselves. They don't even know where their oxygen mask is, let alone how to attach it to their own face before helping other people. And I find it really, really fascinating. Now, there's lots of different things that affect our ease or difficulty in that survival mode place. Now, some people have had a really good start to life and their nervous system is absolutely fine. It's not wired to be highly sensitive. And the way that I describe this to people is, it's like sometimes we've got those flickering switches or those faulty switches, and sometimes it can take nothing at all to set us off. Because if we have been wired to be on high alert, we are looking for things before they happen. And so a lot of people will go, God, that was an overreaction. But to the person overreacting, that was a safety requirement. Their nervous system was waiting for the shit to hit the fan. And their response was supposedly disproportionate because the other person wasn't expecting that response. But what is often happening is that person who is giving that response has been watching the situation unfold for a while, and they're feeling their nervous system tighten and tighten and tighten and tighten like a spring. And so when something happens, it explodes. And it can be really hard to be both the person who does that and the person who's on the receiving end of that. It's very hard then for either to be in a relaxed mental state, a relaxed nervous system state. So it is really interesting. The more I've unpacked the way that I deal with my survival mode, the less I have come into that really reactive, reactionary pattern of exploding like a spring. The other thing that happens in survival mode is that some people will get stuck. If you imagine all of their nervous system is like the wiring on a house and everything is turned on. It's all the lights, all the electronics, everything. And they can't turn it off. So these are the people who rush around busily cooking and baking and cleaning, and they cannot sit still if their life depended on it. They are in that on mode. So when they get into freeze, or when they get into stress, often it's like all of the switches get turned on and they cannot switch off. That is often also called in the adrenal response that wired and tired type feeling. But it's like you also can't stop. You need everything going. And then you have the other people who, when they get stressed, it's like everything in the house is turned off. There is no electrical current. It is just, there's nothing going on. And that is like those people who will sit and veg out and watch Netflix and not move off the couch or stay in bed all day. And it's really interesting. Often you will find that these people live together. One of the people who goes into on mode for stress and one person who goes into off mode for stress. Now, I sort of vacillate between the two, and I think it has come a little bit better since I've been doing so much internal work and personal and professional development. But it's just really interesting to get a bit of a groundwork, base, whatever you want to call it, for us to be able to then take this concept a little bit further. So I'm going to leave it here today because I don't want these videos to be too long. But let me know what of that resonated for you, what questions you've got, and come back hopefully tomorrow, and I will come back with another video on our survival mode. Take care. Have a great day.